Trip Zero here, and we're in the red house, the geothermal water greenhouse, and I'm going to do a December update. It's December 2nd. Show you what I'm learning and how things are going in the greenhouse in this environment. Some really interesting things going on. I'm excited to share them. So here we go. Let's do it. So right off the bat, this is my light controller, and the green light means it's not connecting, and if it's not connecting, it's not running. So the last few months have been just with the sunlight. So the lack of, and the sunlight is often like this. The sun has not gone down yet. This is kind of the sun during the day. It's very, very dark, cold, not too cold, but dark, not a lot of sunlight. So it's having some interesting effect on the plants. I'll show you in a second. But just so you know, no supplemental lighting from the light controller because right now my controller's not connecting. I wanted to show you this guy. This is my lime plant, and in the cold it has dropped some leaves, but it hasn't dropped its fruit. It fruited late summer, I believe September, or maybe even early October, but it has not dropped its fruit, but they haven't been growing. So you can see in here some fruit. See if I can get some light, a little bit of light help. So it has a little bit of fruit, but not much going on with that. It may be too cold, maybe the lack of light. That looks like kind of a blossom. Maybe it's blossoming again. This is kind of interesting. Didn't notice that, but so kind of interesting. This is a southeastern Asian chili pepper plant. They're very similar to Thai chili peppers. They're very small, but they pack a big punch. The fruit's been growing. They've been ripening. Of course, they will ripen off the plant. The plant doesn't look too bad in these low light conditions. It hasn't flowered, but it's not doing too bad. So wanted to share that. Spinach does all right. It doesn't grow as fast as what's growing in my deep water culture in my room with the LED lighting, but it does grow and it looks pretty healthy. My son's strawberry plant that he got from school, I can't tell you the type because I don't know what the type is. They didn't give me any sort of species or tell me what it was but we planted it in here. It's the only strawberry plant we have left. I ripped up all the other ones. It has been producing fruit. It hasn't flowered probably in a couple months. So it's kind of dormant, just kind of hanging out. But it looks pretty good. The tomatoes are another story. So these are the fruit that set probably in October. They're starting to ripen now, which is pretty good, and they're decent size. But as we go higher, and as it started getting less and less light, you start to notice a lot less fruit set. So that's the second batch. A lot less fruit than the first. And we've only got two and a third small one on that node. And as we go up, there's less and less fruit. There's still flowers, so we get some flowers at the top and keep on flowering, but less and less fruit. And if you notice as well, right here, the weight of these tomatoes have broken the stem. So noticing definitely some weaknesses in the plant. It's not as strong as what it would be if there was a lot more sun. So very interesting little fact or effect from the lower sunlight. Now this plant is actually kind of an older plant that didn't get a whole lot of light at first, so it didn't grow very much. It was kind of in the shadows of some other plants, but I moved it here, more southerly direction. That's the sun, by the way. The sun's somewhere, actually probably over there, but this is the south side of the greenhouse. You know, we're kind of where my radiator is, my reservoir. So these plants get the most light at this time of year. And you can tell, but they're very tall, and their stems are a little bit thicker. But this is the grafted San Marzano, and I'm not impressed. Just like the other San Marzanos, these are very low producing plants, at least in this greenhouse. Never gotten very good production out of it. that node, like one fruit. Move up to higher, one fruit on this node, one teeny tiny fruit on that node. Just not the kind of production that I need from these plants. So I'm probably never going to do San Marzano again. This is actually, and it's been very susceptible, it seems, to the powdery mildew that I think I have. So that's some mold there. The big beef seems a little more resistant, but it's still suffering those lower leaves. I need to remove them. I've been using copper fungicide to help fight it, but not been doing great. So this is a Black Prince. And the Black Prince, again, the fruit that's set in October, almost ripening, doing very well. As we go up higher, less and less fruit. Flowers, but very slow to set or grow the fruit going up. That could be the sunlight, could be the temperatures. I'm guessing the temperatures have been pretty decent. Could also be maybe the powdery mildew problem. Who knows? These plants more to the north, these get the least sunlight, and you can tell very, very long, thin stems. And I mean, look at this one's almost 3 feet before it has any flowers, which is very long and lanky, not very healthy plants here on the northern side. So I may have to do something else on this northern side at this time of year. Maybe plant spinach, because that seems to do all right. How has the geothermal system been working? It's working out okay. Like, this will kick on. I have this, so this is the radiator, or the heat exchanger, that comes from the ground. It blows out when it turns on at nighttime below about 9 Celsius. The computer will kick this on. The air comes out. It's cool. I'm guessing the temperature down there is cooling it to about 9C. It'll keep it. It'll help. It's not going to keep it above 9C, but it'll help maintain 9C or around there. So with just this working, without anything else working, it got to 1C outside, maintained at about 7 or 8 inside. So not too bad with just this system. Of course, if it gets cooler, this is going to perform more, but it's going to also get cooler as well. Maybe the temperature delta between inside and outside will be greater. Maybe if this drops to 0 or -2 outside, this will be 5C in here, which is, 7 Celsius difference. It's pretty good. So, but I think I will change this to kick on at a little lower temperature, maybe 7. And the reason is, at the moment, this is my CO2 generator / water heater, and this guy has been my main source of heat. And the reason is, in these lighting conditions, in these low light conditions, it's my daughter, she's hanging out with me. In these low light conditions, you want to maintain a higher level CO2, because that's going to help with photosynthesis. You need more photosynthesis, more effective or more efficient photosynthesis in these low light. So take advantage of every photon we get, because we're not getting as much as we used to in the summertime. So right now, you can read that, it's about 2,000 parts per million in here. We try and maintain that as long as the temperatures are below 15C. So this has been working great. If at nighttime drops below 9C, this also turns on, and it does a really good job of maintaining the temperature. At nighttime, it uses about 8 to 9 grams of fuel, and it keeps it warm, keeps it above 9C all night. So the reason why we don't want the geothermal loop to be on at the same time as the CO2 water heater is because we don't want to be dumping. We're going to be heating up the water. We don't want to be dumping it in the ground at nighttime. During the daytime, it's okay to dump that heat in the ground, because then we can use it later at nighttime. We can pull it up, but we don't want to be cooling it at nighttime. We want to take advantage of it. So that's why I'm changing the algorithm right now. So that'll kick on. The geothermal loop will kick on at about 7C, and we'll keep the water heater at about 9C. It'll kick on at nighttime. This is the reservoir, and if I put my hand in here and feel the water, it's nice and warm. From from how it's run all day. It's a warm temperature. It's not hot. It's just warm. That'll radiate out all night. I'm probably going to also hook up this this heat exchanger directly to. This is the return line from the water heater. Hook it up to this, so it blows the hot air, which kind of converts that warm water and the hottest water, which is when it comes from there, it's going to be its hottest, into air to better heat the greenhouse. So I'll get a radiative effect from the reservoir, but I'll also get directly heating the air via conduction and convection. So that's my greenhouse update. Hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, hit the like button. Subscribe if you aren't subscribed yet. I'm going to have more updates coming up. How we can grow all year round, especially summer plants like tomatoes. This has been a very fun experiment, and I hope you enjoyed it. Trip Zero out.